What's up, man? Welcome back to the QC podcast. I'm your host, QT. And today I got my guy Donnell on with me, man. And we want to talk a lot of sports, man. A lot of things been said by a mutual friend we know about our opinions and how one may know more than the other about certain things. So I want to get into it, man. I really want to dive straight into it. But first, I want to ask you, like, where did your love for sports and knowing sports and every sport gonna stem from?
Well, really it started when I was a little kid. My dad played baseball at University of Arizona, but
Mhm.
yeah, from I grew up. I say I grew up on ESPN Classic.
Yeah,
I used to watch cartoons like everybody else as a kid, but um, my thing really was ESPN Classic. I used to go back and watch all the games they had on there with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, all the old time players. Um, boxing was They used to show a lot of boxing on ESPN Classic back in the day, back in the
oh,
early
definitely.
2000s.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's really where it stems from.
Mhm.
Just family upbringing and that kind of thing.
Definitely, I would say the same about me. I think my love for sports in general just made me want to learn more about it from an X's and O's
Right.
standpoint, and just from the people who play it, like just knowing people different journeys and everything like that. So that I think that's a neat thing that we both kind of, you know what I'm saying, got different kind of backgrounds, but it kind of led us to this podcast today. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing I want to talk about, the first thing we're gonna dive straight into, which is a bunch of topics, but what do you see from the NFL Combine? You know, it came on last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What was your takeaways from it? How do you feel about it?
Well, the combine, I'm starting to come around on the combine because before I was the tape guy. Um, I felt like a lot of times people put too much weight into what happens during the combine, but
Right.
yeah, I was tuning in, and there's a lot of guys that impressed me in the combine. Like, man, did you see what Jordan Davis did?
Oh yeah, I'm a Georgia fan.
Like,
I don't know if
bro,
you can see it, but I got the newspaper. I got the newspaper from the championship. I'm a Georgia fan, and I expected him to run a fast time like that. Watching every Georgia game, I seen him go from sideline to sideline, tracking down the quarterback. So that 4.8 didn't surprise me, like it surprised a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Because he a freak, bro. That big, moving like that, that athletic. It didn't surprise me.
yeah, man, that's
So go ahead.
like the combine. There's a lot of other guys that showed out. I mean, Chris Olave, I think he really helped himself,
Mm-hmm.
especially because he's known as the great route runner.
Mm-hmm.
He's smoothing it on his breaks and stuff. But him running that 4.39 that can really help his draft stock. I don't
Yeah.
see him getting past like 20.
I like Olave, but the best receiver in this draft to me is Garrett Wilson. Top to bottom, like Garrett Wilson, the dog. He can run the routes. He got the speed. We see the ball skills. We see all that. I just for me the takeaways from the combine are always the same every year. Since I play football, I'm currently
Hmm.
playing football. So like for me, I feel like the combine is more of confirmation. 4.2,
Yeah.
4.3 for Chris Olave. He kind of played fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But then you got guys that haven't made plays and they come and run 4.3s and they rise their draft stock. So I think that 40 is a lot of bit overrated because
Yep.
we got players that run 4.3s year in and year out and go to the league and don't show nothing. But for a guy like Jordan Davis, I watched every Georgia game. I seen him running from the middle of the field to go get a sack on the sideline. So
Hmm.
that 4.8 just confirmed what I seen on film.
Yeah.
Chris Olave run a 4.3 that confirmed what I seen on film, but it just got a match for me. I don't put too much
Yeah.
stock into it.
But then at the same time, it can work the other way. You see somebody that I think like what was his name, Tutu Atwell, like last year,
Yeah,
like he's
yeah.
known as he's a speed demon. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, if you ain't running, if he's like, I think they say he was like 5'5", 160, something like that.
Yeah, he was
Eh,
definitely,
But
yeah.
but if you ain't running like 4.3s, 4.2, 4.3, like mid 4.3s, like
At that size,
that,
yeah,
yeah, it kind of
definitely,
drops you a little bit, and then
definitely. I
uh,
definitely go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna ask you about like Kyle Hamilton. Like, what do you think about him? Because a lot of people were starting to be a little down about him running like a four
Mhm.
six, but I think his play style works in the league.
Well, you got to look at it. I mean, Kyle ain't no small safety.
Yeah, he's a
He,
big
he's
dude.
he's 6'3" dude. So that 4.6 may look like a 4.6 on why you run the 40, but he covered ground well,
Yeah,
and that's why I say too much stock go into the 40 because clearly probably the best safety in the draft to me, Kyle Hamilton. People down on him because he ran a 4.6, but he's a 6'3", 200-pound plus guy. but you look at the film, you don't see a 4.6.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel great about him. I still think he's the number one safety in this draft. I like the safeties in this draft. So I think Lewis Seen raised his stock, the Georgia safety. I didn't know he was gonna run a 4.3. I like Jaquan Brisker from Penn State.
Yep.
I like him. I like Verone McKinley out of Oregon.
Yeah,
I
got
like
that feeling there.
That's the Hill from Michigan. I like a lot of them. Jalen Petre from Iowa. Is that Iowa?
No, he's from Baylor, right?
Baylor. It's another safety from Iowa too, but Jalen Petre from Baylor, like he showed me a lot because in today's game, a lot of safeties got to know how to play over the slot, play in the box, play over the top. He showed all that in his film, so he emerged to be one of my favorites, most definitely. So, just switching the gears a little bit, I kind of itchy to talk about this, the NBA. Between Philly and Brooklyn. Now, I wish Cora was on here because we don't agree on this topic, and you might not agree on it neither. But I believe that Philly won the Brooklyn and Sixers trade. Can you give me your thoughts on that trade as of today?
Man, first of all, I think the jury's still out. Like I think we're gonna have to wait a while until we really see who won the trade. But if just looking at it on paper, like when it first happened, like I know the big, the catch-all phrases was whoever gets the best player wins the trade, and James Harden is the best player, right? So I can see how you can see that Philly won the trade, but especially because Ben Simmons wasn't playing at all. But yeah, exactly. But I'm leaning with Brooklyn because I think they filled holes that they did. I think this isn't a big winner loser trade. I think this is a trade where both teams really benefited because Brooklyn, they really filled holes they had. Joe Harris, he had a second surgery. So he's not coming back. He's not coming back for the rest of the season. So adding Seth Curry really gives them that floor spacer that they needed. And Drummond, Drummond is the sleeper because they don't really have a big body in there that can hang with the Giannis's and the Embiids that they're going to have to face in the playoffs. So them adding Drummond brings another aspect to that team that they didn't have, and that's not even accounting for Ben Simmons, which is the guy that's going to guard the number one player on every team.
So this for me is I agree with everything you just said, of course, but I think Philly won the trade, and here's why. It's simple to me because Ben Simmons ain't stepped on the court yet. They at the bottom of the East. They're the 8th seed right now in the run for the playoffs. So they're gonna need a couple games to get in rhythm. We have no idea when he's gonna come back. I just think Seth Curry the deal breaker. I think he the one that give Brooklyn that extra piece. Had Seth Curry not been in that trade, it'll be cut loose. Like, oh yeah, the Sixers won this trade. But at the same time, I think Philly might be the better team because when you get to the playoffs, like you don't know if Kyrie gonna be there. You don't know how many games he gonna play. I don't think Drummond gonna give you consistent. What he get 12 and 14 a night. I don't think it's gonna be consistent. I think when Seth Curry and Patty Mills have to be the starter in place of Kyrie, they're gonna play a little different. You know what I'm saying? With Kyrie there, it's gonna be way easier. But 50% of the series is gonna be played without Kyrie Irving.
No, that's a big if, right?
Yeah.
The Kyrie thing changes everything because if he's available every night, I'm picking them in the series. But if he's not available every night, I'm picking Philly. I mean,
exactly.
That's just the way it has to be.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I say that Philly won the trade, and James Harden dribbled. He played. He dressed out and played. That's enough. That's more than what Ben Simmons did, in my opinion. And we don't know how Ben Simmons is going to look in his offense when it's just him and KD. We don't know. I know we know what he's capable of with his skill set, but we really don't know until we see. And at the same, this is not the beginning of the season. They got probably 12, 13 games left, and then it's time for the playoffs. So I wish Corey was on here to go back and forth with me about that. So,
well, I think his spot in the offense, I think he's gonna replace Bruce Brown in the starting lineup because I think he's gonna play that role because I don't see them playing together. Like watching that, did you watch the Boston game that they played last Sunday?
I fell asleep on it, but I caught the first half.
Yeah, but the way that they were able to help off of Brown, like Bruce Brown and Drummond, it's hard. The offense is a lot harder when they both are on the court at the same time because they can help off of them. They can they can double team without any consequences really. And I think he has to take that role where he's floating around, trying to hit the
Yeah.
little floater, diving to the rim, setting screens. I
Mhm.
think that's going to be Ben Simmons' role. I think his biggest role is on the defensive end. But yeah,
When they play I want them to meet the Sixers so we can end this. I really do. Because when they play the Sixers, like Ben Simmons ain't gonna have a role on the defense. He's not guarding Joel Embiid. He gonna get murdered if he do that.
he can guard Harden.
Huh?
He can guard Harden. He's going to bother him with that limp. He's 6'11".
Yeah, but at the end of the day, this is gonna lead us into our next topic. Embiid my MVP. So Harden gonna do his thing. I feel like Harden want to leave Brooklyn because he didn't want to have to be the guy again. You know what I'm saying? KD went down and he got hurt. Kyrie in and out the lineup. They butting heads. Now he got to be the superstar again when really he want to facilitate. So now I don't think Harden gonna be that much of Harden gonna go get you a bucket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I say Embiid gonna do so much. Now Harden gonna make his plays because the other night he just had an off night. We knew that was coming. They've been living on the high since he got there. They 6-1. So it's like that's cool with me. But I just know Harden in the better situation because in the offense he run right now, he doing what he want to do, which is facilitate and take his shots, do his stupid Euro, do his dribble through the legs, shoot a three, and now he want to get 12, 11 assists. So that's why I just want to see him. I want to see it happen, but that's why, like, when Ben Simmons play a team where he can't be the best defensive player, what is his role? Because now he's just a man out there, in my opinion. Unless he come out and show us he can shoot, or that he gonna shoot, not that he can't shoot, that he gonna shoot.
Like the old adage says, defense travels. He's 6'11". He long, like he can play different roles on the defense. Like he can be the point of attack guy. He can be a help defender that can just run up and like he can be the help defender that can make things difficult for other teams. I think he can add different. He can play different roles on the defensive end.
Question about Ben Simmons: do you think that he can? Because I hear a lot of people saying that, well, Ben Simmons ain't nothing but a point forward. He can just go play forward and not be a point guard. He can be a good forward. Do you think he can do that?
Yeah, I think that's his best position on offense. I don't think he should have the ball, to be honest with you. Especially on this team, I don't think he needs the ball. I mean, I think that they're a worse team when he has the ball.
That's false. That's super false. In my opinion,
in transition, he can have the ball. Like if he's in transition, he can push the ball. I think that's where it works for him. But in the half court set, I don't think he needs to dominate the ball.
Ben Simmons can be a top 5 point guard if he play to his ability. In my opinion, I don't think he can be a forward because would you put him at a 3 or the 4? Let's go ahead and clarify that. If you were to be a forward for you, would you put him at a 3 or the 4?
It depends on who else on the court. Because if Drummond not on the court, he's the 5 on offense. He the guy setting the screen, he rolling, diving hard to the rim. He gonna do the short. He gonna play the Draymond role, right? So you got the high screen role with Kyrie, right?
Yeah.
They try to trap Kyrie, and now he dumps it off to Ben Simmons. And now it's a 4-on-3. He can make that decision, hit the corner, he can hit the layup. That's the role I see for him.
I just don't feel like he can be that in that situation. That may work out. I got to see it, but I don't think he can bang with the true forwards in the league. Like if he got to go up against a AD the whole game or Embiid the whole game or any 4, scratch 5, they all gonna be in the same area. In my opinion, I think he can be a I'm gonna say Marcus Smart. I think he can be a Rajon Rondo type player in the half court offense. He's just a bigger, more explosive guy. He can be a pick and roll guy with KD because KD can shoot. So they gotta kind of respect him and give him that 1-on-1. Him versus a Drew Holiday that he got 4 or 5 inches on. I like him. I like him to be physical in that matchup. So I think he could be a point guard. I think it's all here, but I don't think it's mentally where it's draining him. I just think he need to build more confidence in himself.
Yeah, I see what you're getting at, but I don't like the guy. Like me personally, I don't like the guy on the ball that's a liability that can't hit a jump shot. Right? I don't want it where because like how they was guarding Ben Simmons last season. Like
the thing
he'd drive up, they'd be at the free throw line waiting on him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's confidence because all Ben Simmons got to do is shoot. He don't got to be a good shooter. Put it up. And we see him in these all-season runs all the time hitting the jump shot, but he won't shoot it in the game. So now if I'm the coach, I'm like, bro, I don't even care if you miss. Shoot the ball. Because something going to happen. And if you want to keep guarding him like that, he can't help us on offense, like you said. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to see him get his confidence together. I want to see him with Brooklyn. I want to see how it works. They got 30 superstars over there. I know what I'm saying. I want to see how it works. So Harden co-star. After Harden performance the other night, did that change how you looked at the Sixers, or did the Harden big game flake come? Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, that's the James Harden we know. I mean, this isn't new. This ain't new. I mean, like, but yeah, but it's real. Like James Harden, like I don't care what nobody says. That's a big game. Like the atmosphere of this game, everybody had circled in their calendar, and he didn't show up. I mean, you saw Kyrie came with the energy. Kyrie wanted that matchup. Kyrie guarded him, but
I ain't never seen Kyrie act different like that. He was following him, bumping him, throwing, shooting him hell, and is looking at him. Harden don't even want to look at him.
Yep.
Come on, man. You don't want to look at him? I would have had it. Yeah, so I ain't taking nothing away from Kyrie. I would tell you right now, if Kyrie was playing every game, if he had the vaccination, like, oh, the Brooklyn a better team. Even though Kyrie wasn't a part of the trade, it's just his presence. Like, we know what Kyrie gonna do. You know what I'm saying? We know what he's capable of. And you put him with KD, that's a cheat code. But now that you say about it, I see the Bruce Brown. Oh, Ben Simmons getting that role, and he play like we think he can. That'll be nasty.
And he bigger, and he
he physical. He can finish. Yep. But what we gonna hack him? We gonna hack him all night. He gonna have to make him. I'm bringing the 15 man off the bench just to hack him. That's it. We might follow him on the inbound. You feel me?
Oh man.
So NBA, we still gonna stay on this topic for a little while. Can you see? I don't really know about like the play-in tournament, the rules of it. Do you know about the rules of the play-in tournament? Can you explain that to me?
Oh man, I don't know if I know it for real too. But I think if you like the winner of the 7-8 game, I think 7 and 8 play each other, and then 9 and 10 play each other. The winner of the 7 and 8 game, they're in the playoffs, and it's the loser of that game has to play the winner of the 9 and 10 game. So essentially, if you're in the 9 or 10 seed, you got to win 2 games
to be the 8 seed to get in.
Yeah, to get in. And if you're the loser of the 7-8 game, they got to play the winner of the 9 and 10 game. If you lose twice, you out. I think that's the way it goes.
Why did they make that?
Because it forces it gets rid of you know how like at the end of the season you would have a lot of teams that really don't care no more. They starting to rest players, like not rest. They just straight up shut people down. Like if this was 5 years ago, you know Zion would be shut down all the way. Anthony Davis would be shut down, but no, Zion would. He just returned to the team last week.
Man, shut down to the season started. I'm a dude. No, I don't know what he doing. Y'all get what you're saying though.
No, I'm saying they would never brought him back. Yeah. But now you're keeping that interest throughout the whole season. So now if you in the 7th seed, you can't just chill. You know what I'm saying? You trying to make a push for 6, so you don't have to be in the play-in tournament. But now if you in the 10th seed, if you in the 9th seed, and you have a young team like Memphis was last year, now you have that hope. We're like, okay, if we can hit our stride at the right time, we can make the playoffs. And I think that's why they made the play-in tournament.
Okay. So just we know who in the playoff race. I wanted you to explain a little more of that to me because I ain't never really got the full understanding of it. Yeah. Jared say Nets will be scary with the amount of length they can put on the floor. Adding Curry just makes them more dangerous. I agree with that, but we don't know. We got to see. When Ben Simmons gonna come back, and we got to see. Because if Nets end up New York win the play-in tournament, they end up in the playoffs, and the Nets got to play New York the first series. Kyrie not playing no game. Yeah. So it's all you know what I'm saying. It's all if. But just to slide on to the next topic about the NBA. Who's the MVP right now? Who's the front runner?
Man, my MVP is not gonna win MVP, and that's okay with me. My MVP is Ja Morant. The way Ja Morant the way Ja Morant put Memphis on his back. They in the
I know it bad her.
Yeah, facts. The way he put him on his back, they in the 2 seed right now in the West.
Like, I mean, that ain't saying much.
It is. Yeah, it is.
That ain't, but it's a 2-team race in the West.
But they overtook Golden State. I'm looking at the standings right now. They got a better record than Miami Heat, and Miami is the number 1 seed in the East. So if they was in the East, they'd be the number 1 seed.
That's not true.
So, it is.
The East way tougher than I know.
I'm looking at it right now. It's 46 and 22.
The East is the SEC this year. The West may be the Pac-12. Joe, if they played over there with all them good teams, they would not have
Man.
been put out that many games. So they pretty good though, but it's gonna come down to Phoenix and Golden State in the West, in my opinion.
It depends if how health when is Chris Paul coming back and how you say he's not coming back at all?
I was talking to Tyler. He talking about nails on your head. But go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. No, he's not.
Man, that's my boy, man. I know it's in like 7th grade, but
Yeah.
But yeah, my MVP is John Morant, and I think in the media they say you know I in the public opinion they say Jokic is making he overtook the #1 spot, but I got to get clarification on the criteria. Like, what are we looking for when we're looking for an MVP? Because what we was always told that the MVP was the guy that he's on like one of the top teams in the league, and he's carrying like he don't have to be like carrying, but he like one of the best players. You know what I'm saying? But like I remember when Dame Lillard, they was at the bottom end of the playoffs, but he was dropping 50 like twice a week.
That's my boy too.
Yeah, but he wasn't even in the conversation for MVP. But
right.
Yeah, I gotta look at it for that. But I think Embiid is definitely gonna make a run. I think Embiid will end up winning it because James Harden, like I know we hated on him for like the big game situation, but
I don't hate on him. I'm putting my belief in him this year. I'll put my belief in James this year.
Yeah.
I love Dame. We spoke on Dame, but I like Embiid. I like Embiid, and I want him. I want to see him win. That's why I'm putting my trust in James to, get over this hump, man, of you losing the playoff. Because I seen him play bad in the playoffs. Like that's just what we seen. We got to go off what we seen in history, right? So we seen him do that. So I can't get mad at nobody that say James Harden bad in the postseason. But I ain't mean to cut you off. But that's why Embiid, my front runner. Eight 40-point games this year, putting the team on his back. Most of the games, averaging 30, 11, and 4. And since James Harden has came, he's still been as dominant. And that's why I think he the MVP, because people thought he was gonna be able to not rest, but James Harden was gonna take some of it off his back. I think James Harden turned him up even more. You know what I'm saying? And with him having another superstar on his team and still being that dominant in the game, I think he should win MVP. Now, Jokic is a very close second. Yeah. They go back and forth each and every game because Jokic do a lot. I say Jokic will give you a boring triple-double, like boring 16, 10, and 11. Ain't nothing wrong with it being boring. I just like Harden because I'm not Harden, but Embiid because he big. He's 7 foot and he play like it. It ain't too many bigs that play like a big in the game nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I done seen Embiid get the ball, see somebody small on him, back to the basket. You going down here for that ride. Like that would excite me. You get physical. So it might be biased, but I like Embiid to win it this year.
Yeah. But that's what I was gonna say at the end of that. I definitely see him making a push and probably winning it because James Harden adds that to the team where I know we was talking about how he doesn't show up in the playoffs, but it's the regular season and their record's gonna keep climbing. I think they can take the 2 seed, and that's going to make his argument look better against a guy like Jokic. Because if Embiid is doing what he's doing on the top 2 seed, and then Jokic is doing what he's doing, even though it's great, but he's in the 6th seed or 7th seed, I mean it's a different conversation.
Yeah, I mean it's close. It's like neck and neck, but it almost comes down to a preference thing, but. Like you said, like what it's gonna come down to is them seeders and how the playoffs looking at it. So that's really what it's gonna come down to. Because I think I think the MVP should be the most valuable player on one of the most dominant teams, and that's what Philly showed me. Yeah. Like you could be an MVP on a team that ain't very good. You know what I'm saying? So
but then if you say if it's the most valuable player, period, then it got to be Jokic because he ain't got none of it. Because like he don't really got his dogs with him like us. Like Murray's been out the whole season.
Murray been out for Michael Porter Jr. out.
Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, he's doing this with like Bones Highland, Bryn Ford.
But what I can say about his role players is they gonna give you a consistent. Yeah. If Monte Morris will average 11 points, you're gonna get 11 points. Yeah. So like I really feel like his role players are more consistent than what the Sixers give you, because Tobias Harris give me a headache sometimes. I like Tyrese Maxey. I just feel like in this offense, he's gonna have to try to be more of a spot up shooter, but that ain't his strength right now. You know what I'm saying? He's a ball dominant scorer, in my opinion, when he's at his best. But giving away Seth Curry really hurt them, because if they could have found a way to get Harden and keep Seth Curry, I really say them boys might go to the finals easily, because the floor space it'll be crazy, and you gotta have to double Embiid. That'll take a little more pressure off Harden to where he can make big shots and not have to feel like he got to force the ball down, nothing like that. But that trade probably wouldn't have happened if they wouldn't have gave up Seth Curry. You know what I'm saying?
But I gotta disagree with you on that Maxey thing, because I think adding James Harden really helps Maxey, because Maxey, he can shoot, he can spot up and shoot, but one thing that he adds is when you close out, he can really attack the closeout, and you have another guard out there. I think, well, this is just my philosophy on basketball, is the best offenses have more than one playmaker on the court, and when you have a guy like James Harden, one of the best passers in the league, and then you have another guard in Tyrese Maxey that can take the ball off the bounce and make something happen as well, and get it to another shooter, that just brings something else to the offense.
I ain't saying that he can't shoot. I want him to be in a more in a shooting role.
At the you want him to be like Joe Harris or something.
Yes, exactly. Joe Harris. I feel like if even if Tobias Harris can be like Joe Harris, they just need a spot up. And they don't got to make the shot just to keep the defense honest, to take a little more because they was collapsing the paint against the Nets in the beginning of the game. Like they shoot. You want to shoot Tobias Harris? Go ahead. You want to shoot that ball? I'll rebound. Like they ain't even respecting it. You know what I'm saying? And all they was doing was looking for Embiid to get the ball. Harden wasn't even calling for the ball or nothing like that. And sometimes his effort on defense is like, come on, James Harden. And then another thing I seen when they was playing is just they second and third effort. That was killing them. Like the Nets getting on the floor for the ball, like super hustling. Like after the rebound, they still trying to get it, even if somebody like their second and third effort was killing the team. So it's a lot to be talked about, but I really hope they find a way to meet up. So we can go on and come back on here and talk about it again, but just switching gears again with I'm gonna just say a name and tell me what you think at this point in his career right now. Russell Westbrook.
Man, Russell is tough, man. Russell Westbrook is at that point where Iverson was late in his career, where you know you got the superstar that's not a superstar no more, but he don't know he's not a superstar no more.
Man, you doing it crazy.
Not, but it is what it is. Like I'm saying, he don't got the lift anymore. He going up for layups, and he just always coming up short. And I'm like, man, he never was like a great shooter, but like watching him, it's like a teachable moment for everybody. It's just like you can never be too good to be above improvement, because there's gonna be a time in life where you got to pivot. Like,
hey, that podcast got everybody saying pivot, bro.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to Ryan Clark and them. They got a great podcast.
I love Ryan Clark.
If you watch if you look at the best players that have longevity in the league and that are great beyond, like, you know, beyond when their explosiveness goes away, they add in something else to the game. Like Kobe with that mid range. Michael Jordan with the mid range.
LeBron right now.
Chris Paul.
Yeah, facts.
Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, Floyd Mayweather.
Like Floyd Mayweather. Like,
don't get me turned up about that. I don't hear you. We're gonna get on that.
Floyd Mayweather was able to age gracefully, because even when his speed went away, he was able to fight more in the pocket. He was able to defend like in a closer space, so he didn't really have to, you know,
shoulder roll king.
Like you got to add that extra layer to your game. That's something I think Westbrook never really did, and that's really hurting him right now.
I respect Westbrook so much. You can ask Corey whenever we get. I know I'm gonna invite you back on to just revisit topics and continue to talk sports. But I was never really a big fan of Westbrook. But I always like you can't take away from his greatness. You know what I'm saying? We always say in boxing, styles make fights, and I just think that's the case with Westbrook with the Lakers. He just don't fit. You know what I'm saying? His style don't fit. Now, if Westbrook could be a spot up shooter like we were just talking about with Maxey, it'll be the Lakers will be in a better position. Or if he could be more dominant off the ball, maybe catch Westbrook cutting off a screen a lot, cutting going to the lane, because I think he's still explosive if he can, you know what I'm saying, break it down to one roll. Westbrook be trying to do too much. You know what I'm saying? He always trying to do too much. So I can never take away from his greatness, but I just feel as if he don't know that he's not in his prime no more.
Yeah,
And then, like I said, in any sport, it's all about fits, man. In football, it's about who fit the offense you're trying to run, or what player fit the defense you're trying. Even in basketball, he just don't fit the Lakers, bro. It just don't add up. I thought initially, if anybody could make it work, it would be LeBron, but I don't know what to say. Like,
yeah.
so you think he gonna be? You know he gone after this year, or what's gonna happen?
Westbrook, yeah, he got to be gone. They can't bring him back at this point, especially with the way the fans is on him. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna force him to get rid of him. And now I think that was a big mistake picking him up.
Yeah.
But I understand like because um this is another conversation I've had with people. I know this wasn't in the rundown, but like um people talking about like you put any stars together and they'll just figure it out, and
No.
it stems to another thing about positionless basketball. And
Yeah.
to me personally, I think positionless basketball is a myth because regardless of if you call him a point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, or center,
Mm-hmm.
certain certain roles and tasks have to be filled on the court. Like it doesn't matter if the guy is 6'7" or if a guy's 6'11" or he's 6'3". That role is still going to be for you. On every successful offense, you're going to have a guy that can penetrate and facilitate. You're going to have the guy that can spot up. You're going to have a guy that can get offensive rebounds. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to have a guy that can isolate and get buckets when the shot clock runs down or when we get to the end of the
Right.
game. On a great
Mm-hmm.
defense, you're going to have a guy that's a good point of attack guy. You're going to have a guy that's a good rim protector.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a guy that can guard wings. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if you call it a point guard, shooting guard. These roles have to be filled, and that's one
Definitely.
thing I
Definitely.
think.
Yeah.
That's one thing I think guys have gotten wrong because they watch the Warriors and they say, Draymond Green, he's not really 6'7". He's like more like 6'6". But like they say, like, oh, since he can play the five and guard bigs, now positions don't really matter. But that's just not really the case.
That's definitely the Warriors messed it up with that, man.
Yeah,
I had watched the podcast with Iman Shumpert. He real intelligent,
yeah,
intellectual. So he was just talking about a lot of what you just said because I didn't really pay no attention when people said positionless basketball. Um, he was just saying how he knew that the game was gonna turn to positionless basketball
hmm
if they would have beat the Warriors back in the finals when the Warriors beat them that time or
yeah,
after the second year when the Warriors beat them. He was like, we knew the game was gonna change. People was gonna be coming across the line trying to shoot half court threes,
yeah,
trying to have 4 guards on the court with a 6'5" center. We knew that the game was gonna turn that way if we didn't win. And that's what happened. Like you got people shooting crazy
yeah.
now. They even look at the Nets. They sort of trying to play positionless basketball. Like they be having Brown at center. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I'm
you see,
saying?
how the team changed when Drummond came because you
Yeah,
need like
yeah,
when you're going against
exactly.
Giannis, you're going against Embiid. You got to have somebody down there that can take that punishment. But
Mm-hmm.
you see it in football as well. Like if the Bengals would have won the Super Bowl this year, you would have had a whole bunch of people talking about offensive line really don't matter like that. You get a one playmaker, you get a dominant playmaker, but
Yeah.
the offensive line don't really matter.
I
But
don't,
it's
I
the
don't think them owners want to go that way. I'm
no, they
glad
don't.
they gonna get somebody killed out there, boy. Because Joe Burrow, he a different human, bro. I don't
Yeah,
understand. You know what I'm saying? He took. I'm gonna say it was 9, but I'm gonna say 10. He got sacked 10 times in the playoff game, and they still won. I don't know what to say about him at that point, but that did kind of shift the conversation, pivot the conversation.
yeah.
Shout out to the Pivot Podcast. To the next topic, which is the NFL. We got a lot of stuff going on in the last week or two. So the first thing I want to jump into with you is the Russell Wilson trade. Um, Seattle receives Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, and like 6 picks, and the Broncos receive Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick in 2022. I was just looking it up. So we know who won the trade. It was highway robbery, in my opinion. So just tell me what you think about it.
Well, I think just like the Brooklyn trade,
Oh,
we're not going to know who won the trade until we see until we see it play out because this like
hold on.
it all hinges on do you trust Seattle? Like I know Tyler, that's my dog, but who but like do you trust them to make the right picks? Like that's a big factor because if they hit on these picks, they can blow it straight out the water. But
I
you're
just
gonna
seen,
like
I ain't mean to cut you off, but I'm gonna
yep.
throw this in there real quick while you're going. I just seen an article talking about the Seahawks trying to acquire Deshaun Watson. So go ahead and go ahead and say what you were saying.
Oh, that changes
That
everything.
changes
That changes
everything.
everything
Look, you might have
because
changed the whole job now.
if they get Deshaun Watson, they're gonna have to give up some of the picks as well. I
They
mean,
can
but
have them fourth
they can
round,
have the
man.
picks,
They can
but
have the picks
yeah, but yeah, especially because
because
this year the quarterback field isn't really that great.
yeah,
So yeah, you probably want to look next year for that. But yeah, I think I think it's really a wash then because if you end up getting Deshaun Watson back because you got to look at moves in like the whole offseason is not one move. It's like what I was telling people about the draft, especially like last year with Sewell, the whole Sewell versus Chase debate is like, would you rather have Chase and Liam Eichenberg? Well, they didn't get Eichenberg to end up getting my guy from Clemson. Or would you rather have Sewell and a second round receiver? And you gotta weigh them, you gotta weigh the combinations. Just
yeah.
same way here. Like if I can keep one or two of those picks and now I have Deshaun Watson and a couple of those picks, I think the Seahawks did a great job. But if what what are you thinking? What
No,
are you
bro.
thinking?
They, I think the Broncos immediately just became a contender.
Oh, they did. No
Immediately.
question.
That's
No
why
question.
the Seahawks did a good job, but we like you just said, we don't know. They trying to acquire Deshaun Watson. We was gonna base it off how they did their picks. Now we don't know if they're gonna have the picks. Shelby Harris, tier 3 player. Noah Fant can't stay healthy. He good, but he can't stay healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We talking about a good young Broncos team that was the third in total defense last year. Defense was never the problem. A good running back in Javonte Williams, 4 good receivers: Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy,
Yep.
Cortland Sutton, and who
KJ
am I?
Hamler.
KJ Hamler. So
Another
it's like
Michigan guy. No.
another shout out to Michigan, man. Definitely so. And you add Russell Wilson into that, and I think KJ Hamler can be a Tyler Lockett style receiver. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Cortland Sutton showed that he can be a number one. He coming off an ACL tear. This year he looked good. He looked good this year coming off of it. So now I think he really finna get back to his groove year 2.
Yep.
We seen Jerry Jeudy route running. We seen how he gets separation. And Tim Patrick consistency. He remind me of Tyler Boyd. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's highway. It's highway robbery, bro. Like the Broncos.
I don't really see it as highway robbery, but I definitely think the Broncos made it. They made out, man.
Yeah.
Especially because Von Miller, he's talking about coming back.
He gonna finish
He's coming
there.
back. If he
Yes.
bro, they making the Super Bowl run. Like the Broncos, they gonna do their thing. Like,
Let's slow it down a little bit. Let's slow it down a little bit. They still playing the AFC. The AFC West with the Raiders, Chiefs, and the Chargers.
Yeah, but
So,
the thing I think well the Chargers made another move. I don't know if that's on the rundown as well, but the Chargers going Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa coming off the edge together,
and Derwin James just
Derwin
being
James
everywhere.
cleaning stuff up,
Asante
stuff up
Samuel
everywhere.
playing great. You know what I'm saying? Asante Samuel playing. He gonna turn to a lockdown corner. Mike Williams just got extended. I don't know what they're gonna do with Keenan Allen. He falling to me. He was good, but he's not all that to me anymore because of what the league asking for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Austin Eckler, we seen him Division 2 guy. Shout out to him. And Justin Herbert surprised probably everybody. I did not know he was gonna be that, but that whole go ahead.
But still after all that, I think Denver still had the best defense. And we're looking at all the quarterbacks and say, oh, it's going to be a tough road, which is it's still going to be a tough road. But I don't think Denver's going to go out here trying to outscore everybody. I think they just need more offensive production than what they were already getting. And with Surtain going to take an extra jump, and he's going to be helped out. He's going to be helped out a lot by if Von Miller comes back. And shoot, man, that team's going to be dangerous.
It's another guy they got over there. Is that the guy from NC State? Is Bradley Chubb still with Broncos?
Yeah, Bradley Chubb, he's there.
And we sleeping on him like he's tough. You know what I'm saying? Yep. They got good. Justin Simmons, one of the best free safeties to me in the game. So I like them. I just think I wouldn't have did that if I was Seattle. I'm sorry. I would, unless Russ wanted to just get out of there. He was petitioning. I don't know if I would have did that. You know what I'm saying? So another big thing that just happened in the NFL. I got the news right before we got on the call. Amari Cooper got released by the Cowboys a couple weeks ago. He now been acquired to the Cleveland Browns for 2 fourth-round draft picks, I want to say. How do you feel about that?
You say you're going to the Browns?
He going to Cleveland
for 2 fourths?
For 2 picks, 2 second-round picks or 2 fourth-round picks. I forgot what
I think I
it
saw
just went across the bottom of the TV. Yeah,
but man, do we trust Baker? I mean, do we trust, because we saw man
I don't
Odell Beckham Sr. had to post a whole long video to get Odell free.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy because now I said this like 2 years ago. I promise you. I was like, Odell won't be Odell again until he leaves Cleveland. I sit here and watch Cleveland play a lot, and Odell don't get the ball and he be open.
Mm-hmm.
Or when he throw it to him, it's a bad pass and all this and all that. Next thing you know, a couple years later, his daddy come out with a 9-minute video of straight bad balls and him being open and not throwing it to him. Odell was never the problem. I'm not running. Oh, hold on, Tyler. Tyler, you just made me lose my train of thought. But we were talking about Cleveland.
You talking about Cleveland.
So, just not trusting.
You talking about Baker, yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust Baker, man. Why would you? How many chances do he get? If Lamar Jackson had been putting up the type of performance Baker Mayfield been putting up, or Kyler Murray, or any of these quarterbacks, you know what I'm getting at, what would they be at?
Man, the same place Baker about to be. Because I think, to be honest,
he ain't got too many chances.
I don't think Baker gonna be there for too long. I think they're gonna be looking elsewhere.
They set up here and blaming on Hugh Jackson. They blame on all these coaches, Freddie Kitchens, and they still getting the same results. With that roster at the beginning of the last season, there is no way they shouldn't have been a contender in the AFC North. You know what I'm saying? They was the worst team. They had the Bengals ranked as the worst team at the beginning of the season. They ended up going to the Super Bowl, and they almost won it. So I'm just not a big believer in it. The game is going away from his style of play because I don't think he's that mobile. He can be, but it's not off of design. It's off of improvising. And I just don't see him as a mobile quarterback, like 100% of the lead.
Oh, you talking about Baker? I thought we were talking about Amari Cooper. I was like, I don't know.
I
see him. Yeah, I was about to say I see Amari being he's still gonna be a dog. He just they gotta find a quarterback for him, in my opinion. Because the Browns roster is loaded. Like,
and it's been loaded for the last 3, bro. It's been loaded for a long time. Ever since they got Kevin Stefanski, the first week they made that trade, and I just thought of Kevin Stefanski, and I thought of the Vikings, Dalvin Cook, Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, and I thought Nick Chubb, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry. It was similarities in that. So I was trying to be able to see them having success because Kevin Stefanski had that type of talent before, and it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And I compared Kirk Cousins to Baker Mayfield. I thought they was kind of equal. Well, now I think Kirk Cousins better. So
that's tough. That's tough.
Go look at his numbers. He ain't respected, but go look at Kirk Cousins' numbers, man. He a tier 2. He a tier 2 quarterback.
If you look at the way the Browns draft, they killed the draft last year. They came out with Greg Newsome, JOK. We had that conversation about Kyle
Pitts.
No, the safety, Kyle Hamilton.
Oh, Kyle Hamilton.
About him being a versatile player, being able to do everything. JOK is that guy. Yeah. JOK can guard the nickel. He can play linebacker. He can do everything.
If you go look at the podcast from the draft last year, you'll see it. I said exactly that. I said the Browns had the best draft. They went and got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, which is job.
Yep.
Anthony Schwartz. They went and got players. They
Greg Newsome. They got Richard LeCounte.
Shout out my boy. He would have went way higher if he hadn't got hurt.
Yeah,
he ended around a 4.7 on his pro day too.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, I didn't see that on tape. I was like, there's no
I didn't see a 4.7, but I didn't see a 4.4 neither.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I was listening to Davion Mitchell's what's his name? Mike Smith works for ESPN. He does this the little film sessions for the NBA players coming out in the draft, and
they grew up together. They from the crib.
They was talking about. Yeah, they was talking about Davion Mitchell talking about his basketball team. He said Richard LeCounte was the best defender on the team. He used to take on the number 1 matchup. I was like, wow.
Go look at, because Richard LeCounte is from close to my hometown. I'm from Georgia as well. But go look at Richard LeCounte basketball highlights on YouTube. I'm talking about dunking, blocking everything.
Yep.
He was nice. He got in the dirt bike after his senior year
Ah.
at Georgia. So he ended up playing the first 2 or 3 games and he missed the rest of the season basically. Like missed like 12, 13 games. So he hurt, man, had it hurt ribs and everything. But he was playing good. I think he caught a one-hand pick against Arkansas to open the season up. We go play at Bama. He catch an interception on the first play of game at Bama. Like he always been a ball hawking safety.
Yeah.
He fell right in the Browns' lap, and I think he's gonna continue to get better in the league. So just back to what we were saying, the Browns did draft pretty good, and LeCount came in and made plays this year. But just back to Amari Cooper, I think he great. He probably the best route runner in the league, but it's the consistency, which is why he left the Raiders and is with the Cowboys. He'll go 13 for 122 and 2 touchdowns 1 week, and over the next 3 or 4 games, he's gonna give you 4 catches for 40 yards. Like it's the inconsistencies, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And on top of that, he's not a vocal receiver, which is why I believe the Cowboys didn't want him to be the number 1 because he didn't talk enough. He didn't show that leadership. I per se, I'm just going off of how I see it. Like he's a quiet, laid back guy. He's gonna do the job of what's asked of him. But you go look at him and they're trying to make CD Lamb the one now. But you go look at CD's personality. He on commercials. He's talking. He flamboyant when he catch the ball. Amari Cooper get touchdowns, just walk off the field. That's him. And I don't think that's the makers of what the NFL think a number 1 receiver should be. But we're gonna really see can CD be a number 1 receiver now, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, when I look at the Browns, just like when we were talking about with the Seahawks, I don't think I think they have more moves to make, and that's gonna affect my answer with this because if they go out and they get I don't know if Jimmy G's that much better, but if they get another, he is better than Baker, but I don't know if he's that much of an improvement. But I'm saying if they can improve at that quarterback spot, I think that makes this move look a lot better.
It ain't gonna be hard to improve because we going back to the combine. Like I like some of these quarterbacks. Like I think Malik Willis and Matt Corral the perfect fit for what the NFL quarterback finna be over the next 5 years, bro. It's gonna be no quarterback that can't do it, be a dual threat. Like it's every quarterback for every team. It ain't gonna be. I think Jimmy G gonna end up getting washed out. Baker Mayfield gonna end up because if you can't run the way these guys coming out now, you got DNs running 4 threes. Like come on, like that's what the game turned into. So that's why I don't think it's gonna be hard because nobody's big on these quarterbacks in this draft. So you really can steal one, especially if you Cleveland. Malik Willis,
go ahead. Yeah, speaking of dual threat quarterbacks, what do you think about Desmond Ridder? He ran a 4.49. Like going back to combine stuff, he ran a 4.49. That's just I think that adds a different element.
If I'm a team that's finna draft Desmond Ridder, and I'm looking at him, his situation is where the 40 is not overrated because he showed that he's past first guy, but he can run. But him being able to run that 4.4 just made me, as an owner or a coach, that just made me happier. Like, okay, like you can run. Yeah, I can pivot. Like you can run. Now you just made it more of a confirmation for me. Whereas let's see, Jalen Hurts say he would have came out around a 4.7, but you see how he played football. And that wouldn't have hurt me. Like that wouldn't have changed my mind about it. But the fact that he can run, it should be a plus more than anything. But people put too much stock in him. Like the Baylor guy, the Barnes guy that came around the 4.2, never heard of him. And I watch a lot of football. I'm not disrespecting him.
Yeah, he a track dude. I think they say he ran like a 10.1 in high school.
But why is it? But my thing is, why is he about to get drafted high because he can run a 4? Like, you know what I'm saying? But you go look at the film, he got 2 pass deflections, maybe. That's not accurate stats. I'm just saying that's how it be. Like, you look at John Ross' career from Washington. I heard Shannon Sharp say this. And I went and fact checked it. He stayed hurt at Washington. You know what I'm saying? He been in the league for 6 or 7 years. He ain't even 1,000 yards in his career. It matches up from what he did in college. He was always a fast guy, but he showed no production. So he got picked over all the. He went 9th overall. Got picked over all the receivers and gave you no production. It's too much stock into that 40, man. If you can play, you can play. I don't care. You ain't finna run no 5 flat or nothing though. But if you can play, you can play.
But that's going back to like what do you think about like the NFL? I know the NFL is like a copycat league. Everybody looking for that next Tyreek Hill, but like
it ain't gonna work.
I know, but as far as like it seems like every year the receiver that goes first is the receiver that run the fastest. Like they picked Harry Ruggs over like a guy like Jerry Jeudy, which everybody watch Alabama know Jerry Jeudy a better receiver. Jalen Waddle, he's not. I think Jalen Waddle is better than Ruggs, but he got picked over Devontae. This year, Jameson Wynn gonna get picked over both Garrett Wilson and
No, he's not.
I mean, he would if he didn't get hurt. If he,
but hey, we're gonna start that. Let's pivot because he that. Like
he's nice, but I still don't think he's better than Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave.
He was there with him.
He had different style. He was there with him, but who was the number one and number two when he was there?
You're
right. There's a reason why he transferred.
But he went to the best team in the country and dominated.
Oh yeah, he did because he had more opportunity though.
That's what I'm saying. Like I just feel like it wasn't a fit for him. Smaller, like what other smaller guy, skinny guy that come out of O State like that in their system?
Terry McLaurin, Paris
Campbell. But no, them boys, man. Terry McLaurin look big. Like I'm talking about skinny guy that's just fast and shifty. That wasn't Terry McLaurin. I can see in terms of height and all that. Yes, that's right. Because Garrett Wilson looked like he's 6'3" to me, but he's 6 foot.
He's 6 foot.
That's crazy because he jumped a 50 in my eyes. Yeah. But I think he all around good. I think he can run routes and we see what he do after the catch. So I don't think that would be a good comparison. But I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. That speed, that it's overrated. It's overrated. Not you being fast is overrated, but I don't think these guys should jump guys that show production.
Yeah, they put too much stock in it.
They put too much stock.
Look at the list of the top 40 times of all time, and they might be like 2 productive players on that whole list.
Facts.
Facts.
I'm still a player, so I don't want to be disrespecting the players. I just hope them guys that run them times can go out there and make the most of their opportunities. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's way too much stock put into it, man. So been a great conversation. So let's pivot to the last part of the podcast. The last little what Tyler want to hear, what I want to talk about. Let's talk about some boxing, man.
All right.
Let's talk about your top 5 pound for pound, and we'll go your top 5 pound for pound first, and I'm gonna give you mine.
All right, so we going today or all time?
Today. We can go all time next time we talk about it.
Yep. All right. So today, well, when you talk about pound for pound best fighters, there's 2 different conversations. There's the guys that have done the most and the guys who you believe are the best. But I think if you're talking about combining the 2, my number 1 got to be Canelo Alvarez. He's a guy that he's fought from 154 all the way up to 175. He's beaten a lot of really good fighters. There's still some fighters that we still want to see him in there.
I'm gonna get on you about that in a minute, but go ahead.
Yeah, there's a couple guys, especially that look like us that we want.
He won't fight no Charlo twin. He will not fight Andrade. He will not fight Benavidez. Yep. Go ahead, we'll talk about it in a minute.
Exactly. And then we got Spence. I think Spence and Crawford got to be on there. And the 5th guy, if we this is combining skill set and production. When I add Spencer Crawford, and the 5th guy to me is the monster Inoue, Naoya Inoue from Japan.
Yeah, the little
he's a problem. Yeah, he a problem. His technique is amazing. He's a puncher. Like he's a guy that if everybody was the same size, I think he'd be right at the top of the list.
I like that list, man. So you got Canelo, Earl Spence, Terence Crawford, 2 or 3, however you want it. You got that.
Is that 4 or 5?
That's 4. Who you feel?
I gotta add another one. Dang, this is where it gets tough.
It don't get tough, man. Don't overthink it, dude.
It gets tough because like you have different conversations, right? Because you have the guys that I named, they have the resume, they have the skill set. And I feel like you have
Earl Spence don't got the resume. And I'm a Spence fan. I'm going to Spence fight next month, but he don't got the resume.
He has a better resume than a lot of guys I'm about to bring up. Right?
Go ahead.
Because then you have a whole nother conversation of guys that have the skill set, but they haven't really done it yet. Because like if you ask me, we have this whole pound for pound conversation. If everybody was the same size, who'd be the best? You got to throw Shakur in there, Shakur Stevenson. You got to throw guys throw guys like Tank Davis in there.
Come on, talk to him.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
You got to talk about guys like Jerron Boots Ennis in there.
Talk to him, man. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? But these guys, they don't have a resume yet. They haven't been in there to the name with the names to. They haven't been in there with the guys to really be tested,
right?
To be mentioned amongst these guys, because you have Spence has been there. I know you say Spence don't got the resume. Spence don't got the resume of Spence don't have the resume of Canelo, but he got a better resume than Tank. I mean, Spence been in there with he been in there with Porter. He been there.
But let me tell you something about that though. Don't compare Spence to my boy Tank. Don't do that for one. Because the way Tank dominate them guys, it's like almost no question that be like, man, he getting know him, he gonna beat some. We already know that. Let's just be honest.
But why they holding him back though?
If you listen to Floyd talk, it's about that cheese. Like that's straight up. Like I understand that. I'm with you. I'm a fan. I want all the good fight. I want Tank. I think Tank will walk through anybody in 135 easily.
Man, easily. I gotta call a spade a spade. I'm a big Tank fan. I went to the Tank's fight, his homecoming fight in Baltimore.
I went to Mario Barrios fight in the summer. Yeah,
but man, like they've been like Lomachenko. He's been calling this boy out for 4-5 years, and we can't have a conversation that Tank is young, he's not ready yet. Tank is 27, man. Come on now, like it's time for him to make that next step. Like I'm a big fan, but it's time. I mean, it's time to make something shake. But if I have to put a fifth have a fifth guy for this pound for pound list, it gotta. I hate to do it because I don't hate to do it, but I gotta say Lomachenko.
I ain't mad at that.
I
actually am, man. Go ahead.
He a bad boy, to be honest with you. But the same thing is, I can't to me personally, I think Shakur better than Vasyl Lomachenko. But
yes, Shakur is the only person I think can beat Tank that's a lightweight. If Shakur is 135, I think he's the only person that can beat Tank. Tank will walk. Yeah. He probably hurt Lomachenko. He will knock Ryan Garcia out cold. Devin Haney, he'll take him 12, but he ain't got enough power. He got them pillow punches. Teofimo, all talk. So Cambosos, he pissing me off right now.
Yeah,
because he act like he been a champion for 10 years. He won't.
So we could talk about that one too, man.
But I ain't even give you my top 5 yet. But finish what you were saying about Loma.
Yeah, but Lomachenko, if we talking about the mix of resume and skill set, he has a great skill set. I mean,
yes,
he has one of the best. He has some of the best feet in the game.
Definitely.
And if you're talking crazy. Angles is crazy. And then when you talk about resume, people forget this. Lomachenko beat Gary Russell
when Gary Russell was hot.
Yeah, Gary Russell. He was really Gary Russell's only loss. I didn't even count this new one.
Yeah,
like Gary Russell, he was fighting. He was in there fighting with one arm, but like, shoot, like he's the only one that could say, well, obviously Gary Russell did just lose, but before then he was the only one that beat Gary Russell.
That's why I say when Gary Russell was hot, like when he was hot. Yeah, he was hot.
Yeah, and he also beat guys like Rigondeaux. And he's been moving up through the weight classes, so he
beat Comey, beat Teofimo.
Yep. Yeah, so no, he lost to Teofimo.
I mean, that he lost all the belts, but then he beat Jorge Linares.
He beat Linares before then. He came back and beat Nakatani and Comey.
I knew he was gonna kill Nakatani. He got that looking like he was so skinny, bro. He almost hurt him. But man, let me give you my 5, man. I'm ready to give you my 5 because I keep it gangster. I just now this ain't going off of the belts or anything. This who I just feel like the best fighters in the world is right now. My 4 and 5, they can rotate. They fluid.
Yep.
My top 3, they solid. I got one Bud Crawford. Come like he got a resume coming from undisputed at 140?
140. Yep.
He came from undisputed at 140. I think he's fought most of the guys at 147 and showed that he can be dominant. I say he the best pound for pound because right now he can go orthodox, he can go southpaw, he can fight inside, he can box you. I think he gonna match any energy anybody he fight bring. I think his IQ is off the charts. And I think he just naturally the best. Even though he was a naturally smaller guy than Spence, I think he got a little more in the bag than Spence, and that probably gonna hurt him. That probably gonna hurt Spence because, but Crawford defense is underrated in my opinion. If he don't want you to hit him, he ain't gonna get hit. And I've seen him just the fact that he can fight you in so many different ways, and he got a 37-0 resume, and he stopped Sean Porter. Like that put him at number one when nobody do that to Sean Porter. We know that. You know what I'm saying? At 2, I gotta go Canelo for every reason that you just said. That's the 1 and 2. Everybody in the world gotta have them 2 up top. I just don't think you can argue with what he's doing right now. Although he picking his fights how you want to pick them. Floyd did it, but I don't think Floyd did it to this extent. Floyd fought the best when he wanted to fight the best. I don't think Bivol is a test. Well, I don't want to see Triple G no more. So I don't know why he signed this 2-fight deal. I want him to go fight Jamal Charlo, and I want to see him fight either Benavidez or Demetrius Andrade. I think he stopped Benavidez because Benavidez is nothing but a power puncher that walks forward, and Canelo power ain't nothing to play with. Like he was walking through on Anthony Direll, that's not gonna happen when you fight Canelo. You're gonna get yourself hurt. You know what I'm saying? My 3 are a little different than anybody you said, but I'm going with Tyson Fury. The best heavyweight in the world right now. Nobody will beat him. I don't care who you put in there.
I didn't put a heavyweight in mind because you usually traditionally the heavyweights are out of it because you can definitely have them in there. I'm not gonna say nothing about that, but if we're talking about the history of the pound for pound list, the pound for pound list was started because of a man named Sugar Ray Robinson.
Oh yeah,
and they were trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, if everybody was the same size, who would be the best, right? Because Joe Louis was the man, and there was like it was built off the conversation of like, if Sugar Ray Robinson was the same size as Joe Louis, who would win? And that's pretty much it. But that's why I didn't have a heavyweight because my 5th would have been a completely different fighter. I'm gonna let you finish.
I ain't no other better heavyweight than Tyson Fury. I don't even think it's close. Just because he's 7 feet and he's so whatever.
Big.
He's so big and he's so unorthodox. All that head movement he be doing and his length and the power we seen in the last fight when he kept dropping Deontay Wilder. Granted, Deontay Wilder probably don't got a chin like that because he never really had to take punches through 40 fights. He was 40-0 with 39 knockouts. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't really never had to take a beating besides the one when he fought
Ortiz.
Ortiz was giving it to him, but he caught Ortiz. That's all it takes. You know what I'm saying? He caught her, and Ortiz is very underrated and nice to me. Like he's a good boxer, man. I like him. My 4 is Earl Spence. I'm a big Spence fan. I'm a realist too, though. And a lot of people in that welterweight division, Kell Brook, Danny Garcia. Who else? Earl Spence showed domination. Sean Porter. I didn't want to say Sean Porter because I feel like he was losing 9 rounds of that fight, and I think. Up to that point in the fight, I think Sean was up in the rounds on my scorecard. Now I'm not no real Vegas judge or anything, but I feel like Sean Porter was up, and once he got knocked down, it took him to another level. Like, oh, I'm turned up now. You know what I'm saying? He talking junk to the crowd and all that. So that was a very close fight in my opinion, and he ended up walking away with it because of the knockdown. I felt like he should have came back and knocked Danny Garcia out though. Danny Garcia just turned into a punching bag. He beat up on a light Mikey Garcia, really 140 Mikey Garcia. He beat up on him bad. But other than that, like he won 147 King. Him, Terrence Crawford, 1A and 1B, and that's Manny Pacquiao Floyd. We want to see that fight today. So he got to be up there in mine. Now this 5th one is fluid. It could be any one of the Charlo twins. I love them too. I like the attitude, but I'm taking my dog Tank Davis because I feel like he's the best lightweight in the world. He probably, and you name any of them lightweights, I think he knocked all of them out except Devin Haney or Lomachenko. The rest of them, I think he knocked them clean out. And now we can say he haven't fought the best, but Tank is another guy. You know what you're gonna get when you come in to see him. He just fought Isak Cruz with one hand. You seen him telling his trainer during the fight, I can't throw my right hand. It hurt right now. And Isak Cruz a rugged dog. I want to see Isak Cruz fight a Ryan Garcia or a Teofimo and see how they respond to that pressure he was putting on. You know what I'm saying? And he was very underrated, but he was better than Jojo Diaz to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's my pound for pound, man.
I gotta change my 5th. Now we adding heavyweights. I should have had him
Usyk.
on my list anyway. It got to be Alexander Usyk.
I know you're gonna say Usyk.
Alexander Usyk, he was undisputed at cruiserweight.
Yeah,
He beat Michael Hunter. Like this dude, he's already shown what he can do. He
great
beat Anthony
boxer.
Joshua. He's an excellent boxer.
Great boxer.
And that goes back to that Ukrainian school. Like he was
Yeah.
taught. I think Anatoly was in his corner for the last fight. That's Lomachenko's dad, Anatoly Lomachenko.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows like their games are very similar, and I just got to put Usyk above Lomachenko at this point because Usyk, I think Usyk he's proven it. He has to be in that top 5, especially after Anthony Joshua win. He solidified that he can do it at multiple weight divisions as well.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've seen, but Tank finna fight Rolly Romero May the 28th in New York.
This is what I'm talking about, dog. Why?
That's what I'm about to get on.
Why?
Devin, and I feel so sorry for Devin Haney because I feel like he the one that deserved to get these fights. Like he got the WBC belt. Why Camboso? It could be all so simple. You got 3 belts. You're not undisputed, so stop calling yourself that. Teofimo was never undisputed. Devin Haney got the WBC belt. Let's go fight him. Tank, let's fight Loma. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo, let's go fight Prograis, Regis Prograis, or somebody in 140. Like, who are these other guys? And I hate to try to diminish the name, but all these guys claim they're so great. They got the record to show they're great, but they never fight each other. That's my only problem with the boxing game. I love the boxing game, but why haven't we seen Earl Spence?
I gotta add another thing to this because Ryan Garcia did one of the softest things I've ever seen in my life.
And he got Garcia's name in my comments.
Yeah, Ryan Garcia. Oh yeah, I can't even see the comments right now. But Ryan Garcia, he fought
Jorge Linares.
I'm sorry, somebody's calling me. It was in my ears, right? But yeah, Ryan Garcia, he fought for a title eliminator, right? For Devin Haney's belt, and he won. And trying to say, and now he's gonna say he don't want to fight the champion. Why'd you fight the title? What are you doing? Like the WBC should never let him be in the rankings after that. Like what? Why?
The WBC, the WBA, the WPO, the IBF, they need to make it simple. It should be UFC style 1 belt, and then they really gonna have to fight, in my opinion. But I like the 4 belt era. I like it because it gives you 4. Because like say the lightweights right now, like okay, Teofimo may have a bad night, and there's only 1 belt left. I just feel like it can be 4 kings. Everybody got a belt. Now let's make it simple. You got a belt. Let's go fight. You're a champion. Let's go fight. Every weight class should be fighting to get undisputed. Everybody, but it's not like that. It's more about money now. But I feel like even if the guys fight the guys who got the belt, you're gonna get paid because everybody gonna pay to see Earl Spence and Terence Crawford. I even think this Uga Spence fight is gonna be a good fight because Uga's rugged. If Camboso's fight Haney, I'm buying that. You know what I'm saying? Who undisputed? So I just think the 4 belt era good, but they got to make these guys fight each other, man.
I think I know how you fix it because do you know that champions in one section of body are not ranked in any other section of bodies, and I think that's how you change it. If I'm the WBA, like say I'm the WBA, and Earl Spence is my champion, right? Terence Crawford should be able to be ranked by the WBA, but he's not.
Yeah, because he's not.
If he was able to be ranked in the WBA, he could end up becoming Earl Spence's mandatory. So he has to fight him. But that's not how it works. But that's one simple fix. If they all agreed to start ranking the other champions in their sanctioning body, that'll fix the sport because
the
now
sanctioning body need to be on one accord, is what you're saying. If Virgil Ortiz is ranked number 2 by the WBC, he need to be ranked number 2 by all of them. That's just okay. I agree with that. I just think it need to be even more simpler than that. The best man, if you got a belt, you fighting me. These guys like the Boots Ennises, the Virgil Ortizes, they the new guys that can come up and be the fight the Danny Garcias, not the Keith Thurmans and not the Keith Thurmans of the world, all to show that they the next up, and they can become the guys to fight for the belts early because they wait till these guys get 31-0, 32-0 before they get in their first championship fight. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. But the ranking system is the problem here because if you had a solid ranking system, then they would have to fight each other. Like
Yep.
they would not be able to fight each other.
Yep.
Like the way Teofimo Lopez did Devin Haney like 3 years ago before he became champion. They were supposed to like WBC set up like the little mini tournament within the rankings for one of their smaller belts. You know how they have like subdivision belts. He was supposed to fight Devin Haney, and Devin Haney was with it, and Teofimo wasn't. Teofimo went the other route and fought. He was able to fight Comey. Well, he was able to fight another fight before Comey
And they
to
end up
get the
getting the
other
belt
belt.
from Comey. Yep.
And then when he got the championship, he wasn't trying to mess with Devin Haney then. But if
all three of them
everybody
belts
was
in
on
that
the same,
fight.
yeah, but if everybody was under the same ranking system, like if everybody was ranked by every sanctioning body, then he wouldn't be able to do that. Is
Right.
When it's Devin Haney's turn, then it's going to be Devin Haney's turn. You can't run away from it.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep. Facts. That it all come down to money. And Floyd, my favorite fighter, but he messed that up.
Yeah, he did.
These guys scared to lose the O. They don't want to lose. I don't blame them though. I wouldn't want to lose neither. But all this you not fighting nobody stuff, man, I don't like that. I respect Spence fighting Ugas though. Ugas got a belt, so now I really feel like if Spence knock him off, he has to fight Crawford to become undisputed. They have to fight. And now Terrence Crawford saying if he can't get this fight, he's going up to 154 to fight Jermell Charlo.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that is, to me, I'm more excited about that than the Spence fight at this point. Like
because it's possible.
Yeah, because we've been waiting on this Crawford Spence fight for like 5 years. Like we've been talking about this in like 2017.
Yeah.
Like at this point, this fight is. I'm not gonna say I don't want to say it's past its expiration date because they can still fight and I still watch it. I'll probably
they got 1 year left for me. They got 1 year left for me, bro.
But shoot, if that's a much bigger story. If Jermell was able to become undisputed at 154
to beat Castano
and then Crawford move up to 154 and beat him in Texas and say, "What's up, Earl? It's time to fight. I just beat your homeboy. It's time to fight." And then now Terrence Crawford, he's undefeated. Now he's 39-0, like 38-39-0, and he fights Earl Spence for undisputed at 147. And now he has the opportunity to become a three division undisputed champion.
He already Hall of Fame in my opinion, but
he got to be in the GOAT debate.
Yes, I'll tell you if he get these fights we talking about, he's gonna be in the GOAT debate. I ain't seen nothing like it. Like I love Earl Spence, man, but I'm an Earl Spence fan, but I just think Crawford to get him, man. It took my father-in-law to break it down to me. Like, listen here, look at it like this, and that kind of made me go back and watch more and more of Crawford fights. I don't watch him fight. I don't know how to Edward Karvovsky, however he says his last name. I don't watch that fight like 5 times and just seeing the greatness. I watched the Terrence Crawford Sean Porter fight live and just seeing him fight on different levels. I think what's his name? It's Benavidez. Jose Benavidez is one of the best. He was one of the best welterweights in the world before Crawford got to him.
Before he got shot.
He got shot.
He got shot in the leg, and he just
So you think that's why he lost to Crawford? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh, okay.
Crawford would have beat him regardless, but I have a different opinion on the fight. To be honest with you, I'm a big fan of both Spence and Crawford, but I honestly believe that if they fought, Spence would win, and I don't know why he don't want to fight him at this point because I think Spence's jab will really bother Crawford, and I don't. Yeah, and Crawford is a slow starter, and Spence is a fast starter. So like, I think Spence will be able to bank enough rounds in the early part of the fight to where Crawford going to have to press, and I don't think that's going to be good.
Run into that.
I don't think it's going to be good for him. Yeah.
I just don't know. Because that's a different fight. Like Terrence Crawford, I can't call it. Call it because Errol Spence might be the jab king, and he got power behind that jab. It might not look like nothing, but them boys feel that jab, and he is a body puncher. Like he'll crack, but he don't hit you in that liver, bro. You're gonna feel it. But I just feel like the stakes is way higher when he fight him because Bud Crawford ain't really had that test. He haven't had that test yet, bro. Nobody pushed him to that limit. Same way I feel about Tank, bro. Nobody pushed Tank to where Tank got to be like, oh man, bro. Tank fight to his competition. That's what Bud Crawford do.
Yeah,
with Sean
that's what Tyson Fury do. You watch Tyson Fury against Otto Wallen. Otto Wallen was piecing him up.
And I'm talking about blood all down his face, on his stomach and everything. Wallen was beating him. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Earl Spence done been pushed a couple times. Kell Brook was, he was fighting Brook in the first 5 or 6 rounds. Brook was looking sharp, bro. He was looking sharp, but he got that cut. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't really see. Sean Porter was winning. Everybody else, Spence probably dominated, in my opinion, that he definitely did, but we've seen him get tested before. I think Terrence Crawford a little more fresh to be tested. And
but
that fight gonna go ahead.
No, one thing I was gonna say is sometimes it's good to be tested.
It is.
Now you know I can get through that.
Yeah, but you look at film on Terrence Crawford. If you Earl Spence, he'll slow start. I know I'm gonna get in with my jab early, 4 or 5 rounds. I might bank him. He come out that different because he know this is the fight that everybody been wanting to see. You think you the best welterweight in the world? I'm this, I'm that. Like it's a whole Nets versus Sixers. You know what I'm saying? That's how we looking at it. He coming crazy. So and just talking about this fight get me excited. And we might not even see it. So it's like the stakes on it real high, man. But switching the gears to end the conversation off, man. What's your best young fighters you like to watch? Who's your best young fighters you like to watch?
The young fighters get me more excited than the
fighters
in their prime because
they
give me hope in the game. But like my favorite young fighters to watch is Jerron Boots Ennis from Philly. I like a lot of the Philly cats. Jerron Boots Ennis, he's coming. He's like a mix of like Roy Jones and with the Philly twist to him, with the influence of like J Rock and all them. You can see the influence in his game, and you also got the other Philly cat. You got Scoot. They call him Scooter. Stephen Fulton, Cool Boy Steph.
Stephen Fulton, little 126 pounder. Yeah. Cool Boy Steph.
He had 122.
122. My bad. Yeah.
He an absolute dog. Like
them Philly cat,
he fighting bigger dudes, and he's stepping right to him. Like but then you got Gary Russell's little brother Antoine Russell. He beat this is how cold he is. He in the Olympic trials to make the Olympic team, he beat Boots twice, and he beat Richardson Hitchens to make the team. He was the reason Boots didn't.
I didn't know that.
He's the reason Boots didn't even make the team.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Gary Russell, his brother Antoine Russell beat him twice. But you got a whole bunch of young cats. You got Devin Haney in there.
That's one of my favorites.
I don't know if you can call Tank a young fighter.
He ain't no young fighter no more.
He's 27 now.
He ain't no young fighter no more. He
can't be in this group.
Devin Haney 24. He barely made it. But I got a couple of them, man. I like heavyweights too. So I like watching Jared Anderson, bro. Anderson, bro. They say he be giving Tyson Fury that work and sparring. You know they top rank. They both are top rank. So I like to watch him a lot, man. He fighting here soon. I don't remember the date. I definitely like Shakur Stevenson. I think he the next face of boxing.
Yeah.
He on the Terrence Crawford wing.
Andre Ward too.
Andre Ward, love him. Andre Ward, love him. I think
he used to be his manager.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I remember that. But Shakur kind of went more with his family. You know, he got I think his grandfather is coach.
His grandfather is trainer.
Yeah, his grandfather is trainer. So I just like he could do everything. He showed that power we wanted to see when he stopped Jamel Herring. That's all people wanted to see because he was coming down as a boring fighter. But I always knew like when they say that mean them people be good. Like they don't like to see the sweet science of it. You know what I'm saying? They don't like to see him boxed. I like to watch Sebastian Fundora. Like we never seen a 154 pounder that tall and long. I think he's a 154 guy. Now he ain't no just knockout artist, but I just like to watch him. He a young dude coming up at 154, and usually we just named the dream. I love to watch Devin Haney, Xander Zayas. I think he's gonna be real good. He's got to get from under Bob Arum because Bob Arum gonna keep him where he want him at. I think Bob Arum the reason Terrence Crawford Earl Spence fight didn't happen, but that's another topic for another day.
Yep. If Terrence Crawford ain't come up with that lawsuit, I don't think Shakur Stevenson would have ever got the Valdez fight.
Ever, because that fight just made sense. You know what I'm saying? 1/3. Why wouldn't he fight? Because really the last fight Valdez fought, he really lost. They gave him a gift like they gave Josh Taylor a gift, and I never was a big Josh Taylor guy. Because Jack Catterall beat him like 3 weeks ago. I don't care what nobody say. You can say what you want to say. Jack Catterall beat him. Another guy I like to watch, he kind of falling on me though, is Edgar Berlanga. Fight with that power, man. He throw them punches, but he was vulnerable and got caught. He got dropped last fight. So them just a lot of young guys that I like watching, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there.
But man, it was definitely great having you on, man. Great conversations, man. I wouldn't mind having you on again with my dog Corey. Jared may come. Oh, hold on. Tyler just said who was the top wide receivers of 2021. Let's go and throw that in there real quick.
Top wide receivers. Shoot, you got
Jamar Chase.
you said the number one or just like a top?
I'm gonna give him my top 5 easily. Jamar,
Yep,
Justin,
yep,
Devontae.
yep.
Give me Tyreek Hill. For my 5, it's getting ugly. Cooper ain't that. That's no specific order, Tyler.
Cooper Cup or
No, Cooper Cup.
Amari Cooper.
Man, come on now.
I'll say Cooper Cup got to be in that conversation. He got to be there.
I'll get on. For me, I said Cooper Cup, but not. I'm not talking about Amari Cooper, bro.
We talked about Amari Cooper early. That's why I was thinking that. I was like, wait a minute.
No, so I like Cooper Cup, but I will say this: I can't call. He's gonna force me to put it in order. All right, I'm putting it in order real quick, Tyler. Devontae Adams 1, Cooper Cup 2, Jamar Chase 3, Justin Jefferson 4, and who is my 5, y'all?
Tyreek.
Give me Tyreek Hill at 5. That's my 5.
Yep, I think I got the exact same 5. To be honest with you, that's my 5. I got yeah.
I want to say this about Cooper Cup. Like he's a great receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I just think for my number one guy, I would like him to be an X, like Devontae Adams. I don't know if Cooper Cup can consistently get open versus a corner, because a lot of times you see him eating, it's in a zone coverage, or it's a lot of the times it's a linebacker or not a cover guy coming to cover him. But if a Jair Alexander or Jalen Ramsey was to follow a Cooper Cup, I don't think he would be as successful. I don't know if I'm reaching with that, but that's what my gut is telling me. Deebo Samuel's a gadget. He in the league of his own, Tyler. Go ahead though.
Yeah, but you just brought up Deebo Samuel, but my ideal type of receiver is the guys you can put them everywhere. Kind of like, well, you can put Devontae everywhere, really. But that's got to be that's my number one guy. Jamar, I think, is number 2 for me, and then it's Cooper Cup, and then Tyreek, and then who was
Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, Jay Jets. I think that's my 5. And I know I've been watching your show, and you always ask the guest who is your offensive set, like who is your quarterback.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So your dream, if you could pick the skill guys, you got a quarterback, you got a running back, you got X or Z, you got a tight end, and you got a slot. Who you putting in there?
Quarterback. Oh man, quarterback. I'm going Dan Marino.
Oh, running back, crazy.
Yeah, running back. I'm going LaDainian Tomlinson. Tight end. Yep, tight end. I'm going with
Tyler Mabry. Go ahead though.
Damn.
Yeah, we put T in the other day, man. I'm going Tyler Mabry, man.
Oh shoot! I was about to say Gronk, but give me T. Give my boy Tyler. Yep. My X is going to be My X is going to be Calvin. My Z is going to be X is Calvin. My Z is going to be Terrell Owens, and my slot is going to be Marvin Harrison.
Terrell Owens the best receiver ever, bro. So why not put him at the X? Yes, he's better than Jerry Rice. Yes, he's better than Randy Moss to me. So why we ain't putting him at the X?
Man, I don't know.
Hey, okay.
The order in my mind, the order like that. Calvin was the name that came first. That's really why I said that. Like you there's no wrong S's in this. Like if I was to pick Jerry Rice, I think we'll be
still
great.
Even. It's still all the same. I got you on that. I definitely got you on that. So let's add a little more flavor to who your all-time starting 5 in basketball.
All-time starting 5. Oh shoot. I love defense. So my 5 gotta go 2 ways. You know what I'm saying? Man, my point guard is Gary Payton.
The glove.
Yep.
The glove.
My 2 guard is Mike.
9-time all defense.
Yep. My 3 is Brian, because he can facilitate as well. He's gonna be like a real point guard.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, positionless, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
My 4 is going to be Kevin Durant, and my 5 is Shaq.
Ooh, wee. I don't know how I'm gonna beat that, but 3 of them players I got on my starting 5.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give you at my 1. Give me Steph. I'm gonna shoot your lights out.
Oh,
Since
Gary gonna be on his hip. He gonna be on his hip the whole game.
It's a lot of guys. He gonna run around them screens with him because I might give me because I don't even want to pick the same players you got. Give me Curry at the 1. Give me Kobe at the 2. Oh, you got KD. Oh my God. At the 5, go ahead and give me Embiid. I'm gonna go and take Embiid at the 5. We're gonna scratch Shaq out of that paint. He's gonna have to play some defense on the perimeter.
That's cool.
At the 4, give me Tim Duncan. I'm taking Tim Duncan at the 4. At my 3, give me T-Mac. I put T-Mac at the 3. Tracy McGrady. And we're gonna rock out with it and we'll just see how it works. Because you got a lot of my players and I don't like that. And one last question that me and T argue about this for like 2 months. Not 2 months, but a long time. Most dominant boxer ever.
Most dominant because what I always say is all time is a long time.
Most dominant boxer.
All time is
no,
a
let
long
me
time.
let me break it down. Let me break it down because I'm a type of guy that like I gotta see it for me to believe they're the best. I didn't see. I seen Mike Tyson 2005. He was smoking that. He wasn't Mike Tyson then. So I go back and look at film. I didn't see Michael Jordan in his prime. So LeBron James is the greatest I ever seen, in my opinion. So since you want to say ever is a long time, the most dominant boxer that you have seen. Tyler, be quiet.
Yeah, because this is a different conversation. Because the most dominant fighter I've seen it got to be Floyd. Because we limited to age. It's Floyd, but man, like I said, all time is a long time. Man, the most dominant boxer ever, in my opinion, is Henry Armstrong. They call him Homicide Hank. This dude was undisputed at 126. He was a champion at 126, 135, and 147 at the same time. And he got robbed for the championship at middleweight. This dude was going to be. This was at the time where there was only one champion. So he was going to be champ at 4 weight
different
classes
divisions. Yeah,
at the exact
I heard
same
of him
time.
before. Yeah,
like this dude won. He won the welterweight championship weighing like 130 pounds. Like this is in my opinion, he got to be the most. He got to be the most dominant fighter ever.
Yeah, I would say Floyd, of course. I'm a Floyd. I'm a big Floyd guy. I just ain't seen a guy do it like him. His first 25 fights, I almost want to say it was a knockout order because he carried that power. But after that 25th fight, he started sustaining them hand injuries. He became Floyd Money Mayweather. So now he moved as the businessman boxer, not a boxer businessman. You get what I'm saying? So he still was dominant, but it was just in his way. He was a fan man. So he gonna give you 12 rounds of a fight. He gonna beat up on the guy. He gonna play smooth defense. He gonna be Floyd, and he dominated while he was doing it. He never lost. He never lost. So that's why I say that. And this conversation led into the top 5 most dominant athletes ever. I said Floyd was in there. Tyler didn't agree. I ain't gonna say they didn't agree. They just didn't like the fact that I was putting Floyd in there because they said Serena, Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt, and I had Floyd in there as well. Do you think he's in that conversation with those people as the most dominant?
How you not gonna put somebody in there that hasn't lost? Like he lost in the Olympics, but he ain't lost since. And
he got robbed. He didn't lose.
He didn't lose. Olympic boxing is corrupt. Everybody know that. But this guy, it's not like he was fighting bums his whole career either. He fought Oscar De La Hoya, he fought Ricky Hatton, he fought Canelo Alvarez.
He fought everybody they said was best. He fought everybody that they said they was the best at the time. He fought everybody 147 and 154. I thought he fought at 135 at the beginning of his career. He fought everybody that said they was the best in those weight classes. He fought them. So you gonna look at it. Don't say Floyd didn't fight no. I hate people say Floyd didn't fight nobody.
And the thing about Floyd, when Floyd was coming up, when he was young, when he was in his prime, they didn't want to fight him.
They didn't.
You had Shane Mosley talking about I had a toothache. I got to go on vacation. He wasn't trying to fight him. You had Oscar De La Hoya didn't want to fight, and Oscar De La they had to Floyd was a problem, especially in his younger days.
Shane come out there with Lorenz Tate in his corner like that's gonna help. That's not gonna help you, bro. So man, that's good. That was a good conversation. That man Tyler and them had, but this whole podcast session, man, hour and 30 minutes long, man. It's been a great one. I appreciate you coming on, bro. Look forward to have you more if you don't mind coming on and talking some sports with us, because it's
Oh yeah, anytime.
a lot of stuff going on. March Madness, you know what I'm saying? The combine just passed, the draft coming up. We
So
got that.
are you a Falcon fan? I know you're from Georgia, right?
Yeah, I don't like no
You don't like no Georgia team.
I don't like nobody. Hold on, let me grab this for you right here. I don't like nobody but the Bulldog, bro.
Oh, okay.
You feel me? Joy Right, you see that? National champions. I don't like the Falcons. I don't like the Hawks. Now I don't hate them. I'm just not fans of them.
Oh, okay.
I feel like they represent the city of Atlanta more than they do the state of Georgia. I could be the only person in the nation that feels like that, but I'm not from Atlanta, so I don't. That's part of my reasoning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't have an NFL team. I like players. Like my favorite player is the Honey Badger. I like safeties. I love players. I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan. I like them since he was at Louisville. So I don't have a team, but who your team is?
Man, I don't really got. I'm right with you. Like I like my favorite players. I like Aaron Donald, of course.
Oh man, greatest.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Derwin. I'm a big fan of Derwin James.
Yes,
Jalen
sir.
Ramsey.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So those are the guys I really like watching. But growing up, you know, the Lions was always trash. So
are you from Detroit? I mean, you from Michigan?
I'm from Michigan, yeah. So the Lions was always trash. So I was a big Ravens fan growing up. Ray Lewis is my favorite player coming up. So like that was my squad. But I was looking at the draft and I was saying like, who should the Lions pick? And we had this whole conversation because I do a podcast with my cousin, right? And I raised this question like, what do you think about positional value, right? So we're at the so the Lions had a number 2 pick, right?
Yep.
And when you're at the number, if you picking in the top 5, all the media types, everybody says you got to pick a quarterback,
or edge rusher, or
an offensive tackle.
Yep.
Right. And everybody else is out of it.
Right.
But in my opinion, if I'm at 2, and because the Jaguars they franchise their left tackle, right? So they probably going Aiden. So if I'm at 2, why can't I take Jordan Davis? Why can't I take him? I'm like, bro, like if I was gonna take Kayvon Thibodeau, if I'm weighing the options between Kayvon or Jordan Davis, in my opinion, I'm taking Jordan Davis because he gives me stability to where I already know you're not running the ball up the middle. I can add more resources to the passing game. So now, even though he might not be Aaron Donald as a pass rusher, he's contributing to the passing game because I know I can put more resources into pass coverage. So I think he affects the whole defense, in my opinion.
It's too many analytics, bro. I understand why they say you should go quarterback, tackle, or DM because them the positions in football that's the most important. People don't understand that. Like the blind side of the quarterback, and the guy that can get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Those are 3 most important positions. But I like taking the best available, bro. I'm sorry.
Me too.
I don't got too much stock in positional value. I do, but I still feel like a lot of them needs you can find in free agency. You can find through trading. It's old linemen like Quentin Nelson that don't come around often, and you got to take them when you get the chance. But I really like thinking about taking the best player available, especially if it's offensively, because it's turned into an offensive league. So if it's a receiver out there or a running back, quarterback, tackle, like if I'm an owner and I'm the Detroit Lions on the Jaguars, well, not the Jaguars because I'm keeping Trevor Lawrence, but I'm trying to put stuff on the offense, and I feel like the defensive, it's so many good defensive players in the draft, and that's every year. A lot of good defensive players outweigh offensive players, and I wouldn't try to just be like, oh, I got to take him first. Like when the Browns took, who was it, Denzel Ward. I feel like he's
I was like he a dog.
He a dog, but I was just saying like I feel like he was the best available. That's not what they really needed, but he was the best available. I'm like, even when the Cowboys took CeeDee Lamb, but they needed a corner. That's what they needed, so to speak. But CeeDee Lamb fell in their lap. He was the best available, in my opinion. So I don't hold too much stock in positional value.
But if we're talking about the Lions, they need everything.
That's why we're taking the best.
We're taking the best available. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Evan Neal should be off the table because why? Because we've already established that we got Penei Sewell, we got DeAndre Swift. We have a
Shout out my
solid. We
boy.
got Frank Ragnow. We have a solid offensive line. All right, but if you add Evan Neal now, that changes everything. And
Yeah.
people might say, "Oh, we have Taylor Decker. Why don't we have Taylor Decker at tackle? He's all right." But just say if you want to keep Taylor Decker, okay, we can keep him. Now we can throw Evan Neal right next to Penei Sewell, and that double team's going crazy.
You ain't lying about that. That double
and
team
now
going
you created an identity for yourself where we gonna be a smash mouth running team, and you gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna have to deal with Penei Sewell and Evan Neal.
Yeah.
You got Swift running the ball, and maybe late round, fifth, sixth round, you can get another bruising back. Maybe
Heavy back.
maybe fourth round you might get Brian Robinson. You might get a guy
you might get Zamir White. His boy, bring his boy, a real bruiser. Yeah. I like it, man. I like the running back from Texas A&M, Zaire Spiller.
Yeah.
I love his game, man. It's a lot to be talked about. So we're gonna hold that draft conversation because it's gonna round up here coming the end of this month, going into April, man. So once again, man, it was great having you on. You always welcome to come on the podcast. Next time it's gonna be me and Corey. So just be ready, man. And that's the end of the episode, man. Thank everybody for watching.
Peace.